What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Please like, comment, and subscribe because it really helps me out, and I generally appreciate it. In this video, we have another comment response video, so let's just get right into it. So we have a question from Big Boy 678. What's going on, Big Boy? He says, "Thanks for another great video. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you. I have another question. How good was the engineering training? How confident did you feel going into your first assignment? I'm applying to SIU for engineering with no prior experience, and I'm worried that they will just expect me to know everything once I'm out. Last question, did you have prior knowledge or related skills before the program?" Good series of questions, and I got some answers for you. So let's start with your first question. How good was the engineering training at SIU? Absolutely garbage. Um, I'm just being honest with you. Uh, you're going to realize going throughout the programs, it's going to be a certain point in time where you're like, man, I've learned a lot about the deck department. They've been forcing me to work in the galley for weeks on end, times when I wasn't even expecting to work in the galley. They're making me work in this galley. I'm learning about the galley department or the steward department, but I haven't learned a damn thing about the engineering department. What is going on? And that's just the reality of it. A lot of the tests that you're going to have, a lot of the classes that you're going to have, it's going to be about procedures in certain situations, what you should do. There's going to be a lot of safety questions. Um, there's going to be a lot of questions and material, curriculum geared toward the deck department. It's not a lot of engineering classroom training. I'll tell you that right now. You're not going to get a lot of uh, engineering material until your last class that you take in phase one of the program, and that's RFPEW. And if your experience is anything like my experience, the person who was supposed to be teaching the class used to come in there, put on a movie, and fall asleep. Or he would go through like 120 slides in like 10 minutes, sit down, and fall asleep. That's just how it was. Um, then they had this other instructor. He was a chief engineer, who now works at SIU. I don't know if he's still there. I forgot his name too, but he'll start going through slides and he's extremely long-winded. You'll be about to fall asleep in the classroom. Um, you really can't retain anything in that class, because a lot of it doesn't make sense to you, because a lot of that stuff you won't even be experienced to until later on in your career. And then on top of that, they have these low monotone voices. It just makes it hard to get through. The good thing about RFPEW is that you don't have a test at the end of it, like in the deck department. They have RFPNW. They have this big old test that they have to pass in order for them to get on their phase two ship and go on to phase two. But yeah, the engineering side, um, SIU doesn't really cater to. I'll put it to you like this. SIU has been saying that they're 50% done in adding a QMed to third engineering course. They've been saying that for years, but they already have a able-bodied seaman to third mate class that they've already had in motion for years. So just to put it into perspective, how much the engineering side to SIU is kind of put on the back burner. And to your second question, how confident were you uh, going out on your first shipping assignment? For me, um, I was pretty confident. Of course, a little nervous because, like the majority of us in the program, we've never been on a ship before. So we really don't know, or you really won't know what to expect. Um, yeah, you'll be a little anxious. I think anybody will be, especially going into something for the first time. But I was pretty confident. Um, I knew I would be going on the ship as a wiper. So that's basically the maintenance man for the engine room. You're cleaning up spills, leaks. If you see anything or hear anything out of the ordinary, you let the engineer on watch know. You're cleaning the bathroom, sweeping and mopping, taking out the trash. And nowadays, there really isn't even a dedicated wiper to the engine room now. They primarily work in the engine room, but if the deck department needs you, you'll be helping them out as well. It's known as a GUDE, or a Goody, General Utility Deck and Engine, or a DEU, Deck Engine Utility. But yeah, man, wasn't really nervous, and you shouldn't be either, right? Because at the end of the day, everybody knows what you're signed on that ship for. Everybody knows that you'll be signed on from that you got the job from SIU as an apprentice. So they won't expect a lot of responsibility from you anyway. In my opinion, I think that you shouldn't be nervous, and just ask a lot of questions. Um, and any opportunity that you have to learn, um, definitely take that in, because those opportunities come few far and in between. So yeah. To the first part of your last question, you said that you're going to be joining SIU on the engineering side, and you're nervous that when you go on your first ship, they're going to expect you to know everything. I'm here to tell you that that's just not true. A first engineer isn't going to expect a wiper to know 99% of what he knows. Um, he's seen a lot of things and been in a lot of situations in the engine room. You haven't seen anything in the engine room, so you don't know how to handle situations in an engine room. He's not going to expect you to know everything, right? Um, Mostly anything in the engine room. Not only that, they're going to know exactly who you are. They're going to know that you are coming straight from SIU, from Pawnee Point. They're going to know that you are an apprentice, and they're going to know that it's your first ship, right? So they're not going to expect a lot out of you. They're not going to put a lot of responsibility on you, especially as a wiper, right? What they will expect out of you is to be a hard worker, is to take instruction properly, is to be diligent, is to ask questions if you don't know the answers. Can you just do your responsibilities properly? Like, forget everything else. Can you, as a wiper, do your wiper duties properly? Can you clean this engine room like how I want it clean, properly, efficiently, every single day? That's all they care about, bottom line, right? So don't overthink it. Don't psych yourself out. Don't get nervous. There's no way uh, a senior engineer in the engine room is going to expect you to know everything. Trust me. And to the second part of your last question, did I have any prior knowledge uh, or skills before coming to the program? Absolutely not. Um, I'm going to be very transparent. Back in 2022 is when I thought about becoming a merchant mariner. Um, and it was right after my mother passed away. I was taking care of my mother, who was terminally ill. She passed away May 10th, 2022. And I remember I walked into my job, never forget it. I walked into my job and I just looked around and I'm just like, this job is not it. Um, I was having trouble paying my bills. Um, if I'm going to be honest, it was one of those situations where I had to make a decision. Am I going to pay half my rent and feed myself and pay my electric bill, or pay 100% of my rent and starve? And I just got tired of that. When I was taking care of my mother, yes, I knew I had a dead end job, but my sole focus was taking care of my mother. So that was kind of at the wayside, right? Like, I could deal with that, right? I'm solely trying to take care of my mother here. But after she passed away, it's like the curtains just opened up and life was just presented, boom, in front of my face. and life was beating me down. Talking about Mike Tyson, 12 rounds. Um, I had to make a decision, and I had to make one fast. So, naturally, I looked at trades because the things that I was learning at this warehouse job, it's not like I can take them outside of that job, go to another warehouse job, and make more money. You know, forklift drivers really don't make a lot of money like that. Um, at least in the state that I was in, New Jersey. So um, I realized quickly that I had to find a trade, and I had to find one fast and stick to it. Um, so it was between HVAC or electrician. I finally made the decision I was going to go to trade school for HVAC, but I was faced with another dilemma. I was thinking, okay, how am I going to go to school and still have to work this 12-hour a day job that I need to support myself and pay my bills? Um, I didn't know how that would work, um, but I was going to go that route. And then one day, I think, yeah, one day, I never forget, I was laying down, I was on TikTok, and I saw this young man who looked just like me working on a deep sea vessel. And I was like, what is he doing and how do I get into that industry? And when I watched the video, it was like something was just like called me to do this. I don't know what it was, but it just caught, but like something inside me was like, I think it was God, was just like, you need to pursue this. You need to do more research on this. You need to figure out what this is because this is for you. So I went down the rabbit hole, just like everybody else does when they first hear about being a merchant mariner, right? Because you either hear about being a merchant mariner through somebody who is already a merchant mariner, or you just randomly run across it. At least in my experience, from what I've seen or heard from people, that's just how they got into it. So I went down the rabbit hole, and I quickly found out that there were 5 ways to get into the merchant mariner industry: either a maritime academy, SIU, MSC, a private company, or cruise line. And after I went down the rabbit hole from each option, or about each option, I quickly learned that SIU was the route for me because they had free training. They provided you with a job right after phase one of the program. You can go back to SIU to upgrade for free. And the skills that I would have learned that I was going to learn in the engine department, especially as I upgrade, I can take those skills off the ship and make money with those skills if I wanted to or if I had to, right? Um, for me, in my situation, that was a win-win for me. So I took a risk and I gave up my apartment. I gave up my car. I slept on a friend's couch until my report date. Even before then, right? Even before that, when I first found out about SIU, I went to the Union Hall in Fort Lauderdale. I took the math test. Um, I took the reading test. I passed those tests, and yeah, I gave up my apartment. I gave up my car. I slept on a friend's couch. I got a full-time job and a part-time job to be able to save up money, um, because I just knew that they would call me back with my report date. Like I just knew. Um, I just felt it, right? And they did. And I saved up some money. I bought everything that they told me to get on that list. Um, Started school March 11th, 2024. I got on my phase two or my first ship July 15th until October 25th. And now I'm on my phase three ship starting January 9th. I'm supposed to get off May 9th, but I just asked the captain if it can extend my time, because yes, I'm being paid less on the ship than my first ship, but I'm learning a lot from these engineers, and I feel like this information is valuable. So, yeah. did not have any prior knowledge or related skills about this industry, the majority of the people that you meet um, will have the same story, right? The majority of the folks who you meet at SIU, they don't know anything about this industry either. Um, I damn sure didn't. I just looked over the notes that they gave me in each class. I passed every test, and here I am. So, um, Big Boy 678, I hope I answered your questions properly, answered them the best that I could. And I hope that you do take advantage of this opportunity if it is presented to you. And good luck, my brother, and God bless you. To everybody else, that's the end of this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share. God bless you all. And until the next one, have a good one.